Hi, this is Jeff Pinard, your New York MBA president, here today with a very special interview. I thought it being July and the legislative slash session is a little quiet, might be a good time to introduce our incoming president, Mike Pulver. And we also have Joe Culver, our executive director here. And I'm going to ask him some questions about the upcoming convention that they planned and get to know Mike a little bit. So why don't we start with Mike first? Just give us a little introduction, tell us something about yourself, maybe something we don't know, and let's start there.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jeff. Really excited. But before I jump in, want to first of all thank you for what you've done, not only this past year, but the past 4 years. I know that there's a lot involved. I know you also have a day job. So on the behalf of the entire association, I want to thank you. So just to be real brief, just a little bit about me. I live in the greater Rochester location. My wife and I actually just sold our house in Pittsburgh of 28 years, moved to Canandaigua Lake. So we now consider ourselves Lakers. So we're excited about that. But obviously I've been in the mortgage business, Jeff, a lot like yourself. I'm in my 36th year. Can't believe I'm saying that out loud. For the past 10 years, I've been with GRB Bank, running their mortgage division. It's really been a great experience. Like yourself, Jeff, prior to coming to GRB, had a chance to work for some of the national lenders, which was also a great experience. But been married for what else? Been married for 34 years. Have 2 sons, a dog, and a cat. And in my spare time, I like to golf, and in the winter, I like to ski. So that's a little bit about me.
So you've been in the mortgage business 2 years longer than you've been married. That's awesome.
Yes.
So, Mike, I remember it was 2 years back. We just finished up convention in Saratoga. It was Jody's convention. She knocked it out of the park. She did a great job. And I remember walking out to my car and sitting in the car, and it hit me like, oh my God, I'm on the clock. They expect me to plan a convention. I've never done that before. And it was, a little panic attack occurred there. And I wondered, when was the moment that it hit you like, oh my God, I got to do a convention? And, what was going through your head as that dawned on you that you're on the clock?
Well, it really hit me last year, Jeff, when we were at Turning Stone and you were taking over. I was like, wow, a year from now, I've got to be able to, replicate what Jeff just did. And from that point, it really hit me. Oh my God, I've really got a lot of work to do. And that was, really before Joe came. So, I knew I had a lot of work to do, but in the same vein, I was nervous, to be honest, anxious, but I was also excited, about it, because I know you had, your game plan, the goals that you had laid out. And I was excited about really trying to do whatever I could do within, my role to plan a convention around trying to at least begin to put together a game plan, a blueprint to address the inventory shortages that are just, to me, really kind of at the heartbeat of some of the challenges that our industry has. I mean, there's many things, right, that we need to begin to try to tackle. But in our day-to-day lives, just seeing the impact and the ripple effect that the lack of housing supply has had is really such a problem that I'm excited to at least try to do what I can do by working with the MBA to try to make a dent into that problem so that generations going forward can experience what you and I and Joe have is, we've all benefited from the industry. We benefited from owning homes. And I'm just really concerned that the way the environment is today, that a lot of people, if things don't change, if things don't improve, that dream of owning a home is going to become more of a novelty. So again, to answer your question, it started a year ago, but I feel good about the agenda and the people that are going to attend. Now we just got to get people there.
Excellent. I can tell you were very thoughtful about this, because for like 60 days after convention, you were a little quiet. And I sense now that you were really taking time to think through, this is important. What is the message I want to deliver? And what is the topic I want to be front and center? And but when you hit the ground, you hit it running, and you haven't looked back since. So great job.
Thank you.
Joe or Mike, we have a new format for our charity golf that we do at convention. Could you maybe speak a little about that and why you think this is going to be maybe a more successful way to move forward with our golf event?
Yeah, I'm going to defer this one to Mike, because I'm not a golfer, but I love coordinating and putting it all together. But I'm very, very excited of the new format and change that you guys have. So, Mike, as a serious golfer, go right ahead and tell everybody what the change is here.
So the change that we made, so fortunately at Turning Stone, they got a lot of different options for people to play golf, including what we're going to do this year is they have a really great executive par 3 course that we're going to play in lieu of doing, the 18-hole best ball event. So, and I think that format, one, it's going to be shorter. It won't take as long to play. Two, I think it's easier. It's not as hard. So I think there's a lot of people that maybe say, I don't want to play in, a 5-hour, 18-hole, golf match. And so I think it's going to be a really fun event. We're obviously going to have games and contests, hole sponsorships, and different types of prizes. So I think it's going to be a really fun format. I think that a lot of different levels of golfers are going to elect to sign up. And this is my plea to that: if you're watching this and you want to at least dip your toe into starting to play golf, this would be a great way to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think the new format's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope it does bring in some non-golfers to participate. So looking forward to it. So Joe, 7 months on the job, first convention as executive director, planning it. What's that experience been like? How's it going? Share what it's like.
Well, and again, back to your both of your comments that it is a 12-month process, right? As soon as one is done, like any great event that requires a lot of time and effort, you're starting that planning process, even as simple as, the importance of going back to Turning Stone this year, right? The feedback and the comments I know from the attendees last year was so strong that we wanted to go back and bring it there. So that made it easier for me, knowing that, they have a history with us. We're going to use almost the exact same space that you guys were in last year, right on the first floor, right off the casino area. So it's very easy to navigate and find the location here. We're going to host all of the sessions again in one room, as opposed to different sessions and breakouts. So again, the continuity, that was the first thing that was the easiest part to nail down from my perspective. And then, working directly with Mike, he and I have known each other as he said, he's 30 plus years. I'm in my 41st year in the industry. We've crossed paths many times over the years. So we've had that comfort and that connectivity. So working with him, getting your knowledge, Jeff, from what you had accomplished with last year's convention, it's really made it very easy for me to come in. So I've just been trying to help shape it, right? Mike's had the theme and the idea. So now it was just building and who are the right speakers that we wanted to get to come in. And that's where we've been blessed very much so far with national names, you know, Mark Jones as the chairman of the National MBA and Marina Walsh, you know, leading with all the statistics. And that's going to be really important at that luncheon on Thursday, because everybody is certainly pins and needles, right? When is the Fed going to make that first rate drop? They were supposed to do it by now, and hopefully everybody was thinking they would have dropped rates at least twice by now. So the timeliness of this convention and the topics are really going to impact a lot of the discussion over the 1.5 days of where inventory is, what can we do more to help get more inventory into the market, and how do we take advantage of that for all the attendees that are going to be there.
Awesome. Thank you. You know, we have a lot of members who, many of them are not on the board, or definitely not on the executive committee. And so maybe you're not as active and see what we're doing. What would you tell them is the reason they need to come to our convention? You know, why should they be there? Give me your thoughts.
Mike, I'll let you go first.
I think there's two primary reasons why any mortgage banking professional needs to be there. One is, you know, what our, you know, goal as an organization is to advocate for policy or policy changes that are going to, you know, improve not only, you know, the housing industry, but for renters, just the entire landscape. So you need to, you know, if you care about this industry, you need to be engaged and have a voice in helping shape and promote those policy changes. Two, I think the speakers that are going to be there, I think the information, what you will learn, obviously Joe touched about this one, you know, we're going to be, you know, months away from an election. We could be very close to, you know, maybe our first, you know, where the Fed does move. Maybe this time it could be the second move. Right. You're going to learn what's going on from a national perspective, but also the convention is really going to kind of boil this down to, you know, trying to provide value to each of the regionals so that the information that is exchanged helps us be more successful all throughout the New York Thruway, you know. And so I think the education that you're going to get out of this, I think you're going to walk away a more informed mortgage banking professional. I think you're going to be better at your job. And I think you're going to be able to bring that back to your respective companies and be an ambassador for some of the things that we're trying to get done.
The perfectly stated, Mike, on all of those different points. The only additional thing I'll add is that, you know, each of us, right, Jeff, you and Mike and myself, you know, our careers have moved forward and we've developed them because of our participations, not just on, you know, the New York Mortgage Bankers Association or other entities, but going to these conferences and events, because you do learn more. You are face to face with these speakers. It's one thing in this environment in the past 4 years where we've all lived in the video world, right? And we've been on a lot of sessions, but the difference in what you get out of attending a conference or a convention, being in the room, being able to talk to people, grabbing them for conversations after, you know, all of that is invaluable to how you continue to develop your skills and your knowledge in this business. So that's, to me, has always been the most encouraging thing. You know, yes, you're taking a day or a day and a half out of your schedule, but you can't replace it just by simply attending, you know, webinars from time to time. This is where you really, really get deeper into the industry and make those important connections, because all of the speakers that we have coming here our connections that Mike has made, I've made, Jeff, you've made, that's why these people are coming, you know, and that's really what's important, because we know how good they are and how much more you folks are going to learn by attending in person and having that experience, listening to these individuals and communicating with them after.
Great.
You know, Jeff, I'll just add to that. Sorry, Jeff, is you know, you talk. I mean, we also talk about the value and the need to network. You know, there'll be a lot of networking that goes on at this event. But I think the next layer to that is, I think each of us, and I certainly I've had several phenomenal mentors that have taken an interest in me and helping me along. And I think when you go to these events, you know, you have the ability not only to network, but you could meet someone where either you're going to mentor someone there, or you're going to meet someone that's going to help mentor you.
Yes.
And I think that exchange happens in person. And I think that's why it's important that's another reason why you want to attend this event.
Great answers. I remember I didn't do a lot of conventions the first 15 years of my career, and I got most of my information from the company where I worked. And I remember after going to the first New York NBA convention, there was this awareness that there's this whole other world going on in the mortgage space that I had no awareness of, yet my career and my livelihood were based on this industry that I just barely knew what was going on. So, you know, the conference definitely brings all that information out, as you both pointed out. So excellent. This is supposed to be a relatively short video, so I'm going to finish up with the final question, which is, what is the thing or speaker or topic that you are most excited about that's going to occur at our convention this year?
Michael, I'll let you go first again.
I mean, all of the speakers are going to be great. You know, I mean, it's hard to, I think the thing that I'm probably looking most forward to is the Friday session, which is going to be a combination of Sue Woodard, Allie Carty, Robbie Chrisman, you know, for them kind of as a wrap up, if you will, to have this Q&A with the audience. They're really, you know, talking about the industry to where each of them are at different stages of their career. So I think what will be really cool is, you know, you've got someone, Allie's been in the business, I think, for 2 or 3 years, and she's off to a great start. So kind of giving her experience, you know, why she got in the, you know, business, what she's learned in such a short period of time. Then you got Sue, like us on this call, but in the business 35 plus years, kind of her experience and providing feedback to the group on, let's face it, in this industry, we always have these forks in the road in our career, right? Where either change is forced upon us, or we elect to make changes ourselves, and how you navigate change. I think Sue will provide some good insight on that. And then Robbie, who's probably kind of in kind of the, you know, the middle of his career per se, kind of what he learned, obviously, certainly from his dad and others, and what he gleaned from all of that, but, you know, how he sees his future. He's going to be talking about AI. You know, that's a, you know, obviously at the forefront of the industry. What impact is AI going to have? So, you know, that's not to minimize. I think all the sessions are going to be great, but I think that'll be a great wrap up to hopefully what'll be a great convention.
Agree.
Yep.
And the piece that I'll add, Jeff and Mike, is, you know, what we, I think, are doing a really good job with, and you guys have done in the growth of this organization over the past 10 years, is to connect directly with the legislators throughout the state of New York, right? And we have 2 coming in on Thursday, Sean Ryan coming out of Buffalo, and then Pam Hunter, who's the chair of the banks on the assembly side. you know, these are individuals that, you know, have respected this organization enough where they want to come, they want to be there, they want to hear from the attendees as well. They're going to share some of their information and what they're looking at legislatively. But again, to have that dynamic, to have these people that are making major decisions in New York State related to housing and housing related needs, that's what's super important about everything that we're doing here. So that's what I'm really happy to see, for sure. Excited about them being in the room.
So much good stuff. I look forward to attending myself. I'd like to thank you both for the interview. I believe we have a tremendous convention coming up, and both of you made such eloquent cases on why you should attend. So all of you watching this video, if you haven't registered, please do so now. The early bird special, I believe, is up on the 12th. So please sign up as quickly as possible. And as you can also see, our leadership going forward is in good hands, and New York Mortgage Banking will have great leadership next year and beyond. So with that, we wrap it up, and thank you very much.